Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Garrity, professor of sport coaching at the University of Denver. Today's coaching tip is to think about your coaching. And when I'm particularly sassy, which is usually all the time, I like to tell people to think about their coaching, right? There's nothing as practical as good theory, and good theory is equitable to thinking. Think about what you're doing, right? That quote is attributable to Kurt Lewin, a social psychologist 60 years ago, who was one of the originators of action research. And so, right when you're out in the real world, not in the laboratory or not in the ivory tower of academia, you have to solve problems and you have to do things, right? And so, thinking about your coaching is one way to do that. So, a quick way to think about your thinking is true. Is why am I doing what I'm doing? How have I done it? Is it working? And what else could I do, or what could I do differently? So, again, why am I doing? What's my goal in mind? How have I done it? What knowledge, what practices have I been doing so far to try to get this goal? So last week I was working with some seventh graders in tackle football. It's their first time playing, many of them. We're working on defensive line stance and starts and get outs and using their hands. So I'm thinking about their experience and how do I get them to perform that goal. Where have I learned how to do this? From coaching experience, from books, from videos, from demonstrations, from experience, from reflecting on my own experiences. And so you start to think about, right, is it working well? Why are they in a good stance? Why are they firing out too far or not enough or not using their hands? So again, why, how is it working? And then what else could I do? What could I do differently? What could I do better? Maybe I need to think about building a relationship with the athletes. So fundamentally changing, not just telling them what to do, but getting to know them better, them getting to know me. So they're not scared and they're not, that fear and anxiety isn't inhibiting their performance, right? Maybe I need to think about that they're giving me yes sir, no sir, but they're not actually changing their technique. So I need to think about that and connect that later in practice. Maybe they're not in the game or in other parts of practice. They're not actually retaining those skills. So I need to think about that. So again, this kind of four-step process can help me think about in the real world setting of coaching, think about my coaching and think about, am I getting the results I want, and reflecting on my knowledge as a coach and is it working, as well as the athlete's experiences, and then evaluating to see if I'm actually getting the effect that we want, that we all want. That's today's coaching tip. Think about it.